Hey, Schmidlifers. I am so excited today to have my guest, Moira Cleary. And I'm going to just go ahead and read the introduction that she sent me. I always ask my guests a little bit of questions before we get started so that I know more about them. I will say, Moira, you and I have been connected for several years. I was thinking about that. And we can talk more about that later because I really love the connections that I've been able to make, even when I haven't met people in real life. I'm using, in real life. I mean, we're in real life, but
we've been friends for a long time.
For a long time. No, it's crazy. Okay. Before we go there, let me go ahead and read your introduction. Moira Cleary is a professional life coach and mindfulness practitioner, as well as a big geek when it comes to online technology. Raising my hand with that one too, Moira. In her 20s, she proclaimed herself a figurer outer, and lives her life doing just that, whether it's caring for her daughters and their medical conditions, to starting a business, a podcast, and summits, to how to get the most out of online tech, to helping clients figure out what the invisible field is that's stopping them. Moira loves to figure things out. In fact, she recently read up on her human design and wasn't surprised to read her life's purpose was to ask questions and examine patterns to find a deeper understanding. Thank you for coming here and being a guest on the show, Moira. I'm really excited to dive in.
Oh, thank you for the invitation. I was so excited. It made my day when I got the message.
Yes,
so thank you.
Yes. And let's talk a little bit about, I'm trying to think, we probably were connected 2014, 2015, something like that.
Yeah.
At the time, I was a virtual assistant and an online business manager. And I know that you were focusing on, I think you were doing your coaching back then. Is that correct?
And then back then I was really focusing on coaching teenagers, believe it or not.
Oh, that's right.
Right.
That's right.
And then my business coach said, well, how many parents have asked you for help? And so the great migration began.
Right, exactly. But that's what happens, right?
Right.
So I don't want to dive too much into the business side of things because not all of my listeners have their own business, but being a person in business, we're told we need to find our niche or our niche, where what we focus on. And oftentimes it finds us before we find it. So that was a good example of that. So I am doing a series right now called How They Got Started. And I really love your introduction because it gives me little peeks and windows. And I know about you, but I want the listeners to know about you too. So we just kind of touched on the fact that you were a coach. When did you become a coach?
Actually, it was the end of 2013, beginning of 2014. So it was it was right when we met. I was fresh. Yeah.
Okay. What led you to be a coach? I always love to hear that story.
Sure. So my daughters were younger at that point in time, and I had been in marketing. I had been, corporate. I'd done all these things. And then when I had two daughters, I started an online product business where people would buy things from me. But then we moved to Georgia and I lost my entire base. So that was the exact same time that my oldest started having medical issues. So I never knew when I was running to the school to go get her. And quite frankly, you would have no idea between one being in preschool, they get out like 2 hours after they go to school.
Right.
And then the other one. So I Googled all the things that I liked. I can't remember what the words were right now, but I remember just Googling 3 words and it came up that I should be a life coach for teenagers. And I was like, that's pretty cool. Like life coach or counselor. So I did some more research and I found some coaching programs, and I really realized how much I would have benefited from having a coach when I was a teenager. I came from a house where both parents were teachers. There was no internet back then. So you had a filing cabinet with manila envelopes of what you wanted to be when you grew up. So you never really there was no expansive, it was it was a small town with small knowledge, right? They just didn't have a worldly knowledge of everything available at the time. So I became life coach for teenagers. So that's why I started.
That's awesome. I have to say, like, everyone's story is different. So just to Google that and come up with that and go and realize, oh, I would have really benefited from that, which I think we all would. But
Yeah.
yeah. And so then you just dove in.
I just dove in. Yeah. And then I volunteered at the 2 high schools we have that are right nearby. So it was great. So I got all of my extra hours and everything I needed on the job training, teaching these kids. You can Google things you like and it will pop out job you should have. Like there's nothing more easy than that. So that was a lot of fun.
Oh, that's fun. That is fun. And then you said that your business coach asked how many times parents were coming to you for help.
Exactly.
So
then I started focusing on the parent side of things. And I always said, like, I'm not a parenting coach, but I'll help you become the parent that you want to be. Because it is those nuances when kids don't listen or have the same values that you do, which that was a huge one. So that's when I started making the transition.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then I don't know how recent it's been. My world has been kind of crazy the last 6 or 7 months, but I know that you've had, because of the medical issues, like you mentioned before, that you've had a little bit of more of another shift. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So if we go back to 2000, we'll say it's 2014. So by 2016, really 17, my oldest was then in middle school and she started getting stronger medical issues. And then the next one hit middle school and then she started having medical issues. So here we are today. One is 20 and one is 17. And together they have 18 medical conditions. Some are autoimmune diseases, some are chronic illnesses, a lot of invisible disabilities. But that left me with 5 years where my whole world was just in turmoil. I just didn't have time for anything. All I was doing was researching and helping and discovering new things for my kids, and lots of doctor's appointments. So I had finally had it. My oldest was about to go to college. She wanted to go to college 14 hours away from us. And my youngest had missed so much high school already as a freshman. So I said, that's it. We're going to figure something out. And we went to a specialist in New York City for my oldest daughter, who at this point was using a wheelchair off and on throughout months, going to school, doing everything. And the specialist put her on new medications and supplements, and she was able to go to college, be able to go to freshman year. Wow. Sophomore year, she was home for COVID, but that's okay. Right. Yeah. But so I drew that line in the sand. And for my younger daughter, we really pushed forward through pain management and we got in with them and she got a new thing. So all of a sudden, I had this space in my life. I could take a breath. And I finally thought, I need to do something for myself. So I recommitted to coaching. I got recertified in it. And when I was doing that, you have to hire your own coach to, help you, but also coach you at the same time. And I realized, oh my gosh, she doesn't have kids. She doesn't have any chronic illnesses. And she has no idea what I'm going through. She was awesome. She was fabulous. Like, she's one of my friends. Yeah. But it was like when you start getting coaching and you realize it's kind of, there's nothing, it's like hollow behind it. I realized that that's the kind of coach I wanted to be. I wanted to be able to coach women like me or caregivers like me who need to sort things out that they never thought they would ever have to. Like, we were never raised on how to raise a child with a disability or with multiple conditions. And so there's that life experience along with coaching, along with, being a Reiki master in there as well. That I just really bring that holistic approach. So when I came out, I did a big questionnaire and I just asked, like, in every group I was in on Facebook, could you fill out this questionnaire? Let me know if coaching is something you would like or you would need. And I got over 200 responses. Wow. And so I just knew I needed to change my whole business at that point in time.
Right. Wow.
So yeah, it was just that it was filling that gap that I saw and that I needed.
Right. Before we hit record, we were talking a little bit about that, about how sometimes we see a need and we can't find it for ourselves. And so we create it. And there are those of us who do that. You and I are like that. So yeah, it sounds exactly like you needed something like that, couldn't find it. I'm going to create it to help other people. And you mentioned something I want to go right back before we move forward. You said Reiki master. Okay. Where did that come in?
That came in at, right after I got coach certified.
Okay.
I had really realized that I had a lot of, I don't know the right word to say. I'm just going to say things in quotes.
Yeah.
I had a lot of things that I could not let go of intellectually. I understood them. I knew I should forgive them, but I couldn't let go of the feeling inside my body. I couldn't let go of the hatred, the anger. I couldn't allow myself to do the forgiveness. And a friend of mine had talked about Reiki and I didn't know anything about it. So I did some reading and I went to a one-day seminar on it. And it was actually Reiki level 1 training.
Oh, you didn't realize?
I did not realize that's what it was going to be.
Right.
So clearly I was a skeptic, and they attune you inside of it so you can have the energy healing go through you. And I immediately felt it. I felt my hands were burning. I could feel it being drawn. And so I was hooked immediately. And so I did a full year of level 1 and level 2 training. And then I held off. I didn't want to just rush into things, but my kids were getting more sick at that point in time. So they asked me to become a Reiki master so I could give it to them easier and train them how to do it. And once I did that, I know this sounds hokey, but I know this is with you. So it was like my soul was healed. And it was like 3 months after I became a Reiki master, I just sat and I realized all of that anger and hatred and bitterness was dissolved. It was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. It does not sound hokey at all. And I'm all for the woo. So,
I know you are. You're a safe place.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. I have to say, like, Reiki has always been something I've been interested in, have never experienced it, but I am a big believer in energy. And, I can definitely see, and I could definitely relate to your story too, of just feeling that energy in your body and not being able to release it. And how interesting. We'll have to talk about that another time, because I would love to know more about that. Yeah. Which I feel is sort of another good segue into the fact that you are now reading up on human design, which is so fascinating. And if I know that most of my listeners probably are not too familiar with human design. How would you explain that? How would you explain human design to someone?
I am still learning. Like, I know. I heard it somewhere else, and I'm always looking for the next piece to learn about myself. I think that each kind of test or assessment or whatever they are is so revealing to a different part of who you are.
Right.
So human design.
It's sort of like astrology in some ways.
Yeah, I don't get that part.
Yeah, it's
I know it combines like 7 or maybe 12 different varieties of like astrology. Modalities. Yeah, modality is a great way to explain it. I just went in, and so you started off by putting in your name and your birthday, just like astrology, but then it comes back and it spits back this like human-like figure, and it describes like all these different aspects of yourself. And I just thought it was really interesting. So every night I just read up on a different aspect of myself, and I decide, okay, does this really fit with me, or does it not? Like, I'm very curious about it. And so what am I? I'm a generator and manifester.
Okay. That's what I am too. A manifesting generator. Yeah. So basically I've always taken that to mean we have a lot of ideas. We're really good at coming up with ideas, maybe not so much on the follow through, but since we know that about ourselves, we know to kind of push ourselves to go that extra step to finish things. I don't know if you can relate to that, but
I
That's
can.
what
The
I
thing that
took
always
from
gets
it.
me through it is if I don't do it, who will?
Right.
So it just makes me do it. Because what am I? Oh my gosh. So this is another part of the profile. I'm an opportunist hermit. Like,
Oh, okay.
so like the hermit side is the introvert in me, but I'm an opportunist that if an opportunity comes up, like I'm all in for it. Like you, like when you reached out to me, I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Right. I'll be on your podcast.
Yes. Well, see, now this explains why we have connected so well, because it takes one to know one.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I'm the same way. And as far as I love, like I'm a big Myers-Briggs fan. I know that some people are not. And, the background of that whole thing is equally disturbing and interesting at the same time. But for me, I felt that I took that in the 80s. Like I had to take it out of counselor's office. That was how it was. The only place you could get it. And it was a long test. I remember it was a couple hours. And I got this whole printout on what I was. And that was the first time that I felt understood. I felt, wow, like there wasn't something wrong with me. So that to me is my connection with it. Now, in saying that, there's some pieces of my profile. I'm an XNFP. So meaning my introvert and extrovert are very close together. Okay. And I think I've gone off on a tangent with imagine that. But anyway, what I was going to say was I've taken pieces of that, of my profile, and I can realize just like you, like, does this serve me? Is this something I feel, or is this something that doesn't, So I think that it's always a good question to ask whenever you're doing these self-assessments, whenever you're looking to have greater knowledge about yourself. It doesn't mean that all of it's true. It doesn't mean that all of it you have to follow, verbatim. It asks you to put on, some glasses of curiosity and really explore whether that is something that feels true to you. And I feel like in that exploration, it's really super powerful. We kind of move through our whole life with, looking at life through the lenses that we have without asking why. And so that's a little side tangent there.
No, but I totally agree with you. If I could just keep going that side tangent for a second, because it's like each piece that you understand about yourself. So when I did the Myers-Briggs years ago, I hate the fact that it kept on coming up that I was an introvert, because in my family, being introverted was bad. You all need to be extroverted because extroverted are good people.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So it took me exploring, listening to podcasts on being introverted, and being in business and being introverted, that really helped me understand it. And then when I took the Enneagram, I'm a 9, which makes complete sense. But again, I hated it because it had such bad connotation with it until I found a person that explained the Enneagram different than other people. And it made complete sense why I was such a follower in so many ways. So now that I know that about myself, I can assess, okay, is it me following because I'm taking the easy way out, or is it actually what I want? So yeah, every time you take one of those, really look at the piece and get more information on it, I think, before you make a decision. Right.
Before you jump right in and,
Yeah.
It's such an interesting thing too. Back to the introverted, extroverted piece, how something that maybe wasn't even spoken, right? Right?
Like, yeah, because they didn't use the word introverted.
Yeah, I was going to say, I doubt that in your family you heard introverts are bad people, but that was just something that you felt. And so it just is interesting that is what informs that lens that you're looking at the world through and moving through the world through. And so to be able to recognize that, especially in business, being introverted, that's a tough one because we're constantly being asked to. As I get older, I feel like I feel like my introversion is starting to overtake my extroversion a little bit. So it's being in business, we're constantly asked to put ourselves out there, and to manage that energy can be rough. Okay, so let's hop back in.
Okay.
I feel like we could just talk on and on about that because I love that stuff. So we were talking about your daughters, and so at this point, because you've recently had a little bit of a shift again. So you created Surviving the Waiting Room, which is to help other parents, other moms who are experiencing what you went through. You also have a podcast. So that's exciting. You just, like you said in your introduction, you just kind of jumped right in. You've created summits and had guests and experts come and share their knowledge with that. And through all of that, there's like there's another piece that you've added into your business, which is helping other people with their online tech. Yeah. No, I think it's great. I love it. Yeah. I love it. And I assume that's just because you were doing all these things and you realized, oh, this is kind of easy for me. Or I like if you're like me, it's sort of like, maybe I don't get it right away, but I love being able to figure out how to get it.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Because I would be talking to people because I'm in these groups where we're doing this together, and they'd be like, I just don't get this. I just don't understand that. I'm like, how do you not get this? Like, this is so simple. And I do know that I have the mind for technology, but I always felt, since I didn't go to school for it and I never got trained in it, that it's just not something I would ever make money at or ever do as a business. But after being around other people like me, like you, that it just comes easier to me. And I actually do enjoy the figuring it out. So I'd much rather, I'll take the time to figure it out, and you do what you specialize in, and I'll do what I specialize in. So
Yeah. Technology is something that I feel holds a lot of people back. I mean, definitely, whether it's business or professional or personal, I feel that, some people can have a real block when it comes to technology. So those of us who, for some reason, and I'm getting this picture of you where you and I really connect well, is we have these both sides of us, right? Like we have this heartfelt feeling side that kind of incorporates a little bit of woo, and but then we have a very practical side that also is very, where we can look at something with technology and not be overwhelmed and feel comfort around being able to figure that out. And so it's an interesting balance, I feel, that you and I have to manage sometimes.
Absolutely. I always think of it just the reverse, believe it or not, that very practical person. And to me, if that woo fits in the practical person, then it's practical. Like, if me looking at an oracle card helps me look at things from a different perspective, that's a very practical tool to have. Like, it's not. I've stopped thinking of the woo so much. When I say woo, I always think of like the people in my outside world that have never met me before. But yeah, I'm a very practical person. So if it doesn't work for me, I don't use it. And if it does work for me, I do use it. So
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, you've given me a different perspective to look at that as well. I like that a lot. I like that. So this is another piece that you've discovered about yourself. And so now you are helping other people in business with their technology.
Yeah. And it's great. It's so much fun. I'm helping somebody migrate her clients over to a new CRM 17 hats. And I was like, she's like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I'm like, no, this is a lot of fun for me. Right. I'm totally up for this. But I was also the kid that I always said I was my father's second son. I was the youngest out of four. So it was when cable just became the thing. So you'd have to change the cable wire behind the TV. That was my job. And I had to do it for my mother and my sisters and my brother.
That's funny.
And my dad would always have me, rewiring the house. I've rewired our dryer a few times. So I'm always like the fixer in the house as well. Yeah. So it's just a different aspect.
Yeah, it's just natural.
I don't limit myself anymore.
Good for you. Good for you. Yeah, when I was a kid, I used to take apart the telephone. Remember?
See?
Yeah. I used to like take the cover off and look at all the wires, and then you could unscrew the handset and you could like take all the pieces out. So yeah, there's just something about that. So well, what I really love about your story, Moira, is just it's just like you're on this path. Things come, things land in your path, and you're like, I can let this stop me and just stay where I am, or I can figure out how to go around it. You're figure out, or you can create whatever it is you need to help you and help other people as well.
Yeah.
And I just, that's one thing that I loved so much about your story. It's just a great example, and as women, in midlife, we have a lot of experiences, we have a lot of knowledge and a lot of wisdom. And I'm really hoping that people hear your story and think, okay, where's a place, something that I can create? It doesn't have to be a business. It can just be art or, journaling or writing. It doesn't, I feel like sometimes people think that this podcast is because I'm encouraging everybody to start a business. And I will say that having your own business is not for everybody. So I could do a whole episode on that. But I always want to encourage women to start, to do something, to try something new. What advice would you give other women in your place?
That's a good question. I think that you should always do what your intuition is telling you to do, even if you don't like what it's saying. So I probably could have gone into doing operations technology for online businesses long ago. But in my mind, I was a coach.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if I hadn't said I can be both, why not be both? I want to start. I mean, I just started it in November. I've been talking all year with my friends and colleagues. But now I'm like, yeah, so what? So what did I do both? And they're very different in a lot of ways. In some ways, actually, it's the same because I'm working with other people and talking and learning just like I would if I was coaching one-on-one. So I think just staying open and going where your intuition's telling you to learn something new. Oh my gosh, I can't think of it right now. Okay. Like the assessment, I was brought to learn more about the assessments and just see where that takes you and what you learn and what you do.
Yeah. That's great advice, to be open to. And I love that you added, even if you don't like what your intuition is telling you. Quite often it's very uncomfortable if we really stop and listen, which is probably why we don't listen too much. But sometimes it can be leading you down a path of uncertainty and trust, needing to trust. And
growth. I
I
always had this feeling, and I tell my girls that when I'm about to do something big and it scares me so much, I actually feel like I'm about to throw up. And I know if that's the case, then I just have to hit the button and hit send or do whatever it is, because that's a moment of growth. So whenever they feel like that, I'm like, just do it. Just go. Oops, sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
Just go through it.
Right. Yeah. And that really is, people, I've worked with clients who feel that they need to wait until the confidence shows up. And if we waited for the confidence to show up to take that step, we would never take a step. I mean, confidence comes from actually taking the step. So it's sort of like a cyclical thing. So sitting there waiting to start when the time is right, when you feel right, when you're confident, when you're not nervous, it won't happen. So
surviving that risk, because that confidence, not having confidence, is similar to worried about the risk that's involved, like what's going to happen. But you gain so much from risking just a little bit. You don't have to risk a lot.
Right. Yeah. I know when when I went out on my own, and was a VA, I knew, because of the fact that people are surprised at this, but I'm a very shy person, but I knew that that was something I was going to have to get over if I was going to talk to people to become my clients, right? So I pushed myself every single day to do something uncomfortable. And often what that meant was talking to somebody in the line at the grocery store, because that is terrifying to me. So those were the little things that I think it was Eleanor Roosevelt that has a quote about doing something uncomfortable every day. And so I took that to heart. I thought, okay, this is going to be my challenge. So yeah, it was just small things, just having a conversation, complimenting somebody, just small little things that were taking me out of my comfort zone. I'm thinking I need to revisit that too.
I think myself, my gosh, if I had that as a task every day, I'd be exhausted. Just the stress over doing it.
Like, what am I going to do?
It would give me such stress.
Right.
Oh my gosh, I have to do this today. But I'm trying to do the same thing, a similar thing. If I'm just trying to reach out and reconnect with people, with like 2 people a week. I'm sure eventually I'll get to 2 people a day, but I'm just trying to do just 2 people a week so far. And then just to reconnect that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, that's a great way to do that as well. That connection piece is very important for all of us, especially over the last 2 years we've had.
Yeah. And a little out of habit.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So
yes, very much
it's
so.
like noticing who's been quiet on social media and just kind of reaching back out with them and saying hi.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I love that, Moira. I think I'm going to take that add that to my little thing to do. All right. So, I am going to have links where people can connect with you at Surviving the Waiting Room. And also, you gave me some links for your, if anybody needs help with technology, with their business, then I will have that as well in the show notes. I am bringing back the Midlife Hot Flash, which is 10 questions in 60 seconds. Are you ready for that?
You might have to edit this down. I'm a thinker.
It's all good. No, it's all good. It's all good.
Okay.
In fact, I was going to set a timer, but I don't think I'll set a timer because I think these are great questions anyway. So we start very easy. Okay. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Favorite all-time band or musician?
Sting.
Oh, have you seen him in concert?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, me too. Favorite dessert?
Anything flaky.
Ooh, like pie or?
Yep, anything flaky.
Anything flaky. Okay, that's the first thing I could think of. That was flaky. What did you want to be when you grew up? In your Manila folder.
In my Manila folder, I wanted to be a social worker.
Okay.
Yeah.
To help people.
Yeah. My parents told me there was no money in that, so I shouldn't be that.
Another lens. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I heard it too. What's your current self-indulgence?
Since it is near Christmas, my self-indulgence every Christmas is Wolf's Pecan Whiskey.
Ooh.
So good.
Wow. Okay. Writing that down on my list.
I limit myself only to December.
Oh, wow. I'm going to have to try that. That sounds yummy. Mm-hmm. What is inspiring you right now?
I think just knowing the new year is coming. Like I did my evaluations recently and just deciding what's going to happen next year. It's just so much fun. I always love that part of the year.
Yeah. Yeah. It is very inspiring for sure. Okay. So I want you to imagine that you're at a gathering and you're saying goodbye and you leave the room and one of your good friends says, "Oh, that Moira, she is so," what do you hope she says after that?
I have no clue.
You don't have a clue? That's okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I would just hope they would say nice things about me.
Well, we all do.
That's it.
Oh, so can I add my things that I would say about
Yeah, that would be great. Then I'll know what people think.
She's so caring. She's so open to possibilities. And she's so grounded.
Those are awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. What advice would you give your 20-year-old self?
The thing I would think of like at 20 years old is that not to be so fearful or worried about things not being the way they're supposed to be, the way that society says they're supposed to be. Mm-hmm. And just knowing that you can transform as many times as you need until you're happy.
Yeah. That's a great message for a 20-year-old for sure. What would you say to other women who are approaching midlife or in midlife, having a little bit of problem with, or not a problem, but really just in a place of uncertainty and maybe a little bit nervous about it? What would you like to say to other women?
Be brave. Just be brave and you can do amazing things.
Yeah.
That's it. Big or small.
Love it. Love it. All right. My favorite question. I actually have this on my intake form when I work with clients because I love this question. If you could be any animal for one day, what would you be and why?
Oh my gosh. Okay. It would have to be vegetarian.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to eat another animal during that day.
Okay.
It'd have to be soft and cuddly. And I'd like a higher view since I'm short. So I think I'll be a koala.
Nice.
Yeah, there you go. Soft, cuddly. They sleep a lot. No one bothers them. That is awesome. That's even better now I think about it.
That's a great answer. And they do have a higher view. So yeah, I love that. Well, Moira, it's just been great having you on the show. I'm so glad we could finally make this happen. And it's been great learning about your journey and just the wisdom that you have to share. And like I did share with our listeners before, I will have links on the show notes on how to connect with you. And it's just great spending some time with you today.
You too. I don't know what your listeners could get out of this, but I hope that they got something. And
oh gosh, a lot. That
they just know that they can do whatever they want. Yeah.
I love it.
Thank you. Thanks
Believe
again.
me, there are lots of pearls of wisdom in this in this conversation. So thank you so much, Moira. I really hope those pearls of wisdom for you were to start considering yourself a figure outer, just like Moira and just like me. Look, just because you don't know how to do something doesn't mean that you can't learn how. Trust me, when I launched this podcast, I had no idea what I was doing. But here we are, 5 years later, and here you are joining me. So take this as a little nudge of a little inspiration to be open to possibilities, to learning something new. We live in this day and age where that is very possible. Often it just takes stepping out of our comfort zone because let's face it, learning something new can be kind of scary and kind of uncomfortable, but that's okay because I know you've done it before.